Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 790 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined, as you would expect, by Rob Roseboom and Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And apparently my macro isn't working, so now I have to figure out. There we go. Ha ha ha. There we are.
Are we streaming for real?
Yeah, we're streaming for real.
Okay.
It just my slide didn't auto update, which is a little weird. Gentlemen, it has been a week and a half.
Yeah.
2 weeks since we last gathered.
Yeah.
How are you doing? I know that. I know how you're doing. So this is just your chance to vent.
This is the rhetorical version.
This is the rhetorical. How are you doing?
Fine.
Oh, I didn't know if you were talking to me or not because I had disconnected again.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The technology, man, it's not working in your favor ever.
Let's get into it, boys. It still exists.
Well, let's start off by talking about the bear that got caught on closed caption TV stealing cupcakes.
Where's our bear? Here's our bear.
It's a bear.
That's so cool. Oops.
Oh,
Damn it.
uh-oh.
Frickin' seriously?
Man, nothing's working.
It's just a day.
We're really having like the day of technology fail. So yeah, there's the bear. And he stole cupcakes, which is so much more wholesome than the cocaine bear that seems to be what we normally talk about.
I don't know. I kind of love this. You know, what a guy. What a great little bear.
Right?
They're like, hey, cut that out, bear. Those are our cupcakes. And he's like, no, they're my cupcakes now.
Right. I am bear.
Made honey flavored cupcakes.
I am bear.
I am bear. Bear gets cupcakes.
Bear
He
always
drags
gets...
the box into the garage. Oh,
They maybe shouldn't have left that open.
Yeah, maybe leave the door closed.
Well, you know, they don't normally.
I guess you don't expect a bear, though.
Bear cupcake larceny
in Connecticut.
In Connecticut,
I don't think of Connecticut as being like a hive of bear crime,
right? Well, I mean, I guess we need to change how we feel about Connecticut.
That's true. I guess my own bias is showing.
You know what? Why is this bear so desperate that he has to go into this small towns or big town? I don't know.
Look,
bakery.
60 cupcakes, Chris.
Cupcakes. Also, not for nothing, 60 cupcakes in that box. Did they get it from Costco? Did they bake it themselves? I guess I'm a cupcake truther. Maybe the bear is doing a service. Right. Yeah, I'm just saying. Not that Costco cupcakes are bad, but you know, it's funny when we go to the farmers market and there's the people that prepared food, and I go, oh, that's Costco. That's Costco. Yeah. So.
Magnum says there are tons of bears in Western Connecticut.
Now, yeah,
there is. New Hampshire.
He says it. He says it. There are tons of bears in Western Connecticut, now. What happened? Were they not there before?
That's where we started shipping our cocaine and our cupcakes.
Shipping our cupcakes and cocaine.
We should maybe, start a bear version of Cool Hand Luke that starts with no bear could eat 60 cupcakes.
I'm in.
Start with that scene.
I'm in. Well, let's see. We've got a story about SRI's radioactive contamination treatment is in human trials. I'm not sure which one of you put this one in the queue.
I might have. I don't know. Did you, Rob?
It's not mine.
So basically, long and short of it is SRI. I think the prison experiment was there. Anyway, SRI does a lot of research, and they have a drug, I guess, that helps if you're contaminated through radioactivity. So there you go. First in-human trial. Inhumans?
That's right. That's how we get our Inhumans.
Yeah. There we go. Diethylene triamine pentaacetate.
I mean, if they produce a giant teleporting dog, I'm all for it. But other than that, I don't want anything to do with Inhumans.
Radionuclides.
You know,
pulling them out of the body after they've gotten in.
About once a year, Rob, I feel you have sentient hair.
It's true.
And then you
It's
turn
at the
into
peak of summer.
then you turn into the baby.
Hmm.
It's the rose boom cycle. You go from having a sentient hair to becoming a big baby, and then repeat.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Did we talk about
And all you need is DTPA.
the Skull Island trailer? I'm a little bummed that like I want the MonsterVerse stuff to be live action.
Really? I mean, we've got a bunch of
Well, okay, so here's the thing. You can do anything in cartoons. You just can. So the fun of King Kong, Godzilla, all of that stuff, the fun is watching them destroy real stuff. When it's just a cartoon, then it's just a monster show, and I got plenty of monster shows.
I don't think you understand what's awesome about Godzilla.
Okay.
Well, I will also say, live action, it's still a cartoon, man. It's just a higher resolution.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's like
They
this.
they didn't really destroy Tokyo.
Yeah, or Transformers Beast Wars didn't really have a
Mhm.
robot rhinoceros effect.
You take that back.
I'm sorry, it's not real. Optimus Primal isn't real,
Oh.
Rob.
You're an Optimus Primal truther now too?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
he's not real. I'm sorry.
Fair
It's
enough.
just-
Fair enough.
There's no such thing as Unicron, whatever the planet.
Yeah,
Eden
Unicron.
guy. Or any of the beast mode Transformers.
I'm just saying, to me, Godzilla, King Kong, those things are generally in the kaiju class of
Yeah.
movie. And
Sure.
the fun of that for me is watching them destroy stuff. And in a cartoon, I just feel like that's doing something different, which is fine.
I mean, you can have your
My wrong opinion, yeah.
You can have your opinion. It's not wrong. It's not. It's your own personal truth.
That's right. My cupcake truth. We have a story about a mystery math wizard, and I don't know which one of you put this one in.
I don't know. I think I might have.
I think it was yours too. These are like 2 weeks old.
Greg Egan, Greg Egan, who's written a number of science fiction books, and a anonymous coward on 4chan. Yeah, it was basically a probability question of what's the minimum and maximum possible number of orderings. So Greg Egan came up with the maximum number of orderings of the particular show to watch, the series order, and he came up with the minimum, I guess. So, or she, I don't know. It's anonymous.
It's anonymous. How do you know?
Yeah.
Transcends such trivialities.
Both proofs are now being hailed as significant advances on a puzzle mathematicians have been studying for 25 years.
They should celebrate by ordering a pizza.
Yes.
And
yeah,
thanks to the pizzeria in New Zealand, they have a new service at Hell Pizza. They will pay. You can pay for your pizza after you die.
I've been to Hell Pizza. That place is great.
Is it good pizza?
It's good pizza.
It's a great marketing.
It really is.
Deal, right? I think they're choosing. They're choosing 665 people.
Oh.
And, then if you fill that out, you legally pay for your pizza out of your will, out of your final, whatever holdings you have when you die. Part of them is that they go to Hell Pizza to pay for that particular pizza. It's a great marketing.
It really is. It really is.
It reminds me of one of my favorite Tales from the Dark Side, which is the poor man's Twilight Zone. It was an episode where there was a staunchly religious person and an atheist, and the religious person needed money or something for something, and the atheist was like, well, I'll sell you my soul for X amount of money, and they joke about it, and he does, and gives the guy money, and then he dies that night in an accident and comes back begging for his soul because demons are coming for it. It's actually a pretty good story.
Wait, but he sold his soul to this guy, not to a demon. Or is it if you don't have a soul, you I don't,
Yes,
religions are
because he was
complicated.
evil. He was because he didn't believe in God. He was going to hell, Chris. Duh.
Oh,
But they couldn't have a soul because they had a binding contract with this other living person.
All right, wouldn't that throw them into purgatory though? What are the rules? You guys grew up in religious households.
In that episode of Tales from the Dark Side, it was Satan wanted his soul
Well, okay,
and was coming
there
to
you go.
bargain for it.
I see.
as a kid, I was told
I
constantly
don't
that
think
Satan wants my
again,
soul.
Yeah.
again, I don't think it was a documentary. I think it was, just like a thought experiment.
It was a documentary
On the
just not
soul.
as brightly lit.
It's a documentary on the soul economy.
I watched the hell out of
Yeah.
Tales from the Dark Side. Just what was that?
Yeah, it was great.
All right. I hope that at least when they do this, that they have some sort of thing where when you come and you actually like have to pay for your pizzas, like that they give you like like pizzas like when you're there, like as a like a celebration funereal pizza. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, there's funereal potatoes in the Mormon culture.
Really?
Yeah. Funeral potatoes.
Yeah.
It's a
Huh.
Yeah, it's sour cream, chive, and misery. My favorite
exactly.
memorial potato.
I mean, every
Also called cheesy potatoes.
well, that's just what you traditionally eat at every Midwestern funeral, right?
Yeah.
For sure. And ham buns.
Oh yeah, you got to have ham buns. I love ham buns.
Mm.
Look, we got the cheapest buns that you can possibly get from the grocery store. We put on the cheapest cheese you can get from the grocery store, and then
Sour
a
cream.
pat of butter.
Sour cream.
If
cream
you're
of chicken
fancy,
soup,
you get cheese.
butter, frozen diced hash browns,
Oh yeah.
or shredded, salt, fresh ground pepper, teaspoon onion,
Oh, so you're describing
cups.
hash brown casserole.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 cups shredded cheddar cheese, 2 cups
And you can
corn flakes.
Oh
you
yeah.
can swap out the
corn
hash
flakes,
browns with
baby.
tater tots.
Oh,
Tater tots.
Yeah.
Funeral tater tots.
I'm gonna skip around a little bit because I want to end with Spider-Verse. We've got I've got one that actually I think is Chris, you especially will probably have some nostalgia for this. Is preparing for the incoming computer shopper tsunami.
Oh yeah.
That was
a great post.
So the computer shopper was a staple of my childhood. Because they were like an inch and a half thick. They're like 1,000 pages long, and you could find everything in those catalogs. And I used to love them. I'm sure I've said this before, but one of the single most influential moments of my life was in like 1987 or something. My parents picked up at a garage sale a bunch of boxes, like paper boxes of like basically every issue of PC Computing and Computer Shopper and Byte for like 5 straight years. So basically, I spent a summer in like 1987 basically reading 5 years of the computer industry. And it shaped my life in a very fortunate way. Now, this story is interesting because this guy got his hands on a big collection of hundreds of issues of Computer Shopper. And he talks about, there's a number of things about this particular publication. Computer Shopper was large. It doesn't fit in a flatbed scanner because the pages are so physically large. He talks a lot about how the print itself is so thin, the paper is so thin and flimsy that this is information that is in danger of being lost because all of these magazines, they haven't been scanned. There's not really a good archive of this publication. And he talks about how he has to delaminate or deglue the spines in order to scan these things in. And the other thing that was crazy is that they're expensive because they're old.
And they're a high acid paper, so
yeah, they wear out. Because these things are old, they can be $10, $20, $30 per issue for collectors. So he has to be really careful to not destroy them. So anyway, this article is very interesting. He's talking about how he wants to scan them all in, and that his hope for this is that people will then be able to go in and actually perform some cool research, like you
Yeah.
know, the rising and falling of different prices, the entry into the market of certain products. There's a wealth of information
Yeah.
in these
And nostalgia.
yeah, for sure. But the Computer Shopper was just like, that was the legend, right? Like on the shelf at the magazine rack, it's like twice as big as everything else. I wanted to just share that. I thought that was so neat, and mad props to this dude doing a service, scanning all these in. That's great.
Yeah.
That right there is like me in middle school. We have another story about NASA has a new laser, laser internet thing. It's capable of 200 gigabyte speed, which they identify as being enough bandwidth for them to copy the equivalent of 1,000 movies from a satellite during a single pass overhead of a satellite.
Okay.
So I like that.
Was this between satellites or satellite to ground?
This is satellite to ground.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, 1,000 high definition movies in 5 minutes.
Listen, Rob, we're technical people. We don't need to break it down into 1,000 anti-standard movies, please. I mean, come on. We know what 200 gigabits is.
I understand. I just like that. I like the different ways that we measure
It is
size.
1,000 orders of magnitude. It is 1,000 orders of magnitude faster than my internet connection.
Oh
yeah. What are Rob standard units?
No, yeah.
Zen gigabits per second. Zen
a Rob unit.
Kilobits per second.
Yep. A Rob unit is actually still measured in baud.
Baud.
Yes.
Yep. You're up to 28.8 baud. Sorry.
Very pretty.
Look at me.
That's right. Okay, so
shiny.
Movies. I wanted to say Sisu, SISU. Rob, have you seen it yet? Uh-oh.
I have not, but I saw that was on demand on Amazon. I almost paid $3 to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I assure you, it is worth your time. It is 90 minutes of an old man murdering Nazis in the goriest ways imaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
sounds like just what I need.
In some ways, it was a little dull. I know that sounds weird. It's like they were like the way they stitched together, like the last part was kind of like, oh.
You mean when the ladies all show up?
No, like that could have been more of a triumphant moment too. And it's just like they kept pulling their narrative punches. Let's just say.
See, I didn't mind. That movie knew exactly what it was. It's just we're gonna spend an hour. We're gonna spend an hour watching this guy murder Nazis in ever more escalating, crazy ways.
Yeah, but like, yeah, sure. But like, even like when the main bad guy died by with the stuff and the things, I'm like, that was actually it was almost
anticlimactic
the way he died. It's like he should have died close up, like some of the earlier Nazis.
I enjoyed it tremendously. That was the second best movie I watched this weekend because the best one was I saw Across the Spider-Verse. And
that's got to be wonderful.
You get a lot. It gets a lot of thumbs up from me, man. But I wanted to bitch because we saw it in the IMAX theater, but they had the volume turned up to like full blast during the trailers, and it was like piercingly, painfully loud. Like the trailer, because they compress the trailers, but they don't compress the feature. So the trailers were too damn loud, and it was awful. But the movie itself was really great. I mean, the main thing is that I think what I said in the channel was basically the problem for this movie is I think the first Spider-Verse stands with like Citizen Kane and Wizard of Oz and Star Wars. Like it stands in that pantheon. Like we did something new with the medium. Like that's the first thing new that's been done in animation for me since like Toy Story. Like they did something amazing like creating a hybrid between comic books and animation and film.
Yeah.
And this movie is more of the same, but it's also a little longer, a little slower, but still phenomenal. Just a great watch. Top recommendations.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I would recommend seeing it in a very large theater, but maybe one with, properly mixed audio.
Not terrible projectionists.
Yeah. They fixed it halfway through the last trailer. The last trailer was the Mission Impossible trailer. And they like halfway through, you could just hear the volume like cut 5 decibels. It's like, oh, thank God. I don't have to have my ears bleeding.
Yeah. That's not what you want.
No.
Movies, right?
Well, and I actually think that when they did it, I think that they might have turned down like the center channel or something. I don't know.
Down for what? Sorry.
Okay. Like I think they might have turned something else down because then the dialogue during any action scene was completely incomprehensible. You had to get it all from context. So I'm gonna have to watch it again just so I can hear some of the scenes which were a little more dialogue heavy. Like once you're in a dialogue scene, I could hear it just fine. But when there was any explosions occurring, like I could barely hear what anybody was saying. And that sucks because that's why movie theaters are dying. I go to the movie theater to have the epic experience, and if you're going to screw up the sound, then I can do that at home. Do we have anything else on our agenda for this afternoon, gentlemen?
Zen. Yeah, I'm a little.
All right. Let me see if my outro buttons work because my intro buttons didn't seem to work.
Oh, yeah, that is something we could talk about. Is the
the Apple
Reddit
thing.
API.
Oh, the Reddit API and the Apple thing.
Apple thing. Yeah, we can talk about that. I just don't care, man.
So okay.
They have no games. VR is fun for games. They have no games. I have no desire to have, now I have 15 virtual desktops so I can write a better memo at work.
See, I really want that for movie watching. I mean, this goes right back to having the best cinematic experience at home. I want to be able to have the screen as large as I want, and I want to be able to control the brightness in the environment so I can have my focus, and I want it to my tastes. In my living room, I have to argue with my family about, can I turn the lights off? Because I want the TV to be the brightest thing and the only thing in my field of vision, but other people are like, I'm using my phone and I want my lamp and I want to read my lights. I want my lights. No, I don't want any of that. And this would theoretically allow me to have, a 100-inch screen in the dark, which I would like that idea. But the other thing is that the first round of testing of like normal people who've been looking at it, they basically say it does deliver on the main concerns that I have for the technology, which is I have the Valve Index, and there's enough latency that I get nauseous after 20, 30 minutes. But also, the screen resolution is so low that it's uncomfortable to read text. The pixel density is just not there. And apparently, at least from the people at the Apple-sponsored event being handheld by Apple employees through their entire experience of the device, say that it's high enough resolution that you can't perceive the pixels, so text is sharp, and the latency is higher. Well, okay, so they're claiming the promotional materials claim that they have 64 pixels in the space of a single phone pixel. So 8 times pixel density of a retina display.
Per degree of vision offered, you have to offer something like 104 to 106 pixels to get to the level where individual pixel borders cannot be seen. So for a 120-degree display, it's a lot.
Well, the early critics
12,000 pixels across, way more than a 4K offers.
But you don't need to fill the entire field of vision. You just need to have your lens, your lens focus, and you only need to
Foveated
redraw.
rendering is great, but
Yep.
it doesn't change the inherent density of the pixels in front of you.
I think that
Right.
I think that these are the two key questions.
No, it's not. None of this matters, and here's why. There are no games. Games are what's fun, right? And the whole movie experience and all the rest, I know that you have your needs,
Yeah, I do.
but this is not going to change your life any
Oh
more
no.
than the Valve Index did.
I don't think that this is necessarily there. If for no other reason, the $3,500 price point is rough.
And this has the internal cameras for seeing eye tracking and
Yeah.
pupillary distance. I'm not sure any of this matters,
Would you go so far as to say that it's got less space than a Nomad and that it's lame?
Yeah, it's got less space than a Nomad and lame.
There you go. Good. I'm glad you said it this time. I'm interested in it. I don't know that I would be first in line to pre-order one.
Everyone's like, oh, everyone was like down on the watch when they came out with it. I'm like, yeah, the watch was $250 though. People talking like this is a $3,500 device.
It's expensive.
This is expensive. Like you can buy a hell of a projector
for sure.
$3,500
for sure.
You get one of those 4K lasers, baby.
Yeah. No, I will be first in line to demo one. And if it does what I think it would do, then
I'm not going to stand in line to demo it.
Well, come on, man. All right, not a literal line, Chris, a figurative line.
You said line. Just saying.
It's the figurative line, not the literal line. Besides, the Ann Arbor Apple Store is rarely crowded. But no, I'm the reviews that I've read in the last 24 hours generally have they're kind of reflecting a couple main things. One is nobody's sure if this solves any real world problem yet, which I think is kind of your position.
Apple's
Chris.
not about solving problems, right? It's about a good time, right?
I don't think that that's a fair statement at all. I think that the iPhone absolutely solved a million problems. I think the iPod solved a million problems. I think even though it was lame and smaller than a Nomad. I know. Yeah. The Mac, I mean, they have a history of not just being for fun. The watch is more novelty than anything else. But no, the main two things were can it take care of the motion sickness stuff and the resolution of the display be high enough that you don't perceive text. And generally speaking, the critics that I've seen have said that it solves those problems. So then the question is, can you do anything that's actually useful with it? And I don't know.
Maybe I'm just being a Luddite.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Wrap it up.
Yep. Then goodbye to you too, Chris DeBona. Stay out.
Bye.
I was Rob Commander Taco Baldo. That was episode 790 of Geeks in Space. Bye.